Hi there, I'm Logan Medish, and this is High Caliber History. Now today is kind of a somber day in American history. It's September 11th, 2019. It's the 18th anniversary of the terrorist attacks in New York, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. As a museum professional, I've had the opportunity to handle some remarkable pieces of American history, and the three that I want to talk to you about today all relate to September 11th. The first piece is a Kimber Classic Royal. It's a 1911 pistol that was in the customs warehouse in the basement of the World Trade Center waiting to be exported to a company in Italy that was supposed to take possession of those guns and distribute them over there. A number of years passed, and the gentleman who had accepted those guns realized the importance of them to American history and worked with a partner here stateside, Navy Arms, to get one of those guns re-imported back into the States and donated to the NRA Museum's collection. And I was working there when that gun came in and have had the opportunity to work with that gun and to handle it and be a part of its story and its history. And when you see that gun, you wouldn't know that it was in the World Trade Center and in that carnage because the gun is in mint condition. And again, that's because it was in one of the vaults in the customs warehouse down there, which was an incredibly secure facility, and miraculously those guns did not sustain any damage while they were down there. The next two pieces did sustain a terrific amount of damage. One of those is a Smith & Wesson Snubnose Jframe revolver that was carried by New York Police Department officer Walter Weaver. He was 30 years old. He was a 9-year veteran of the force. And he happened to be in the towers that day responding when the first plane hit. He was last seen on the 6th floor of the North Tower, getting people out of a stuck elevator when the building came down on top of him. During the recovery efforts, his body was not found, but his backup gun, this Smith & Wesson, was found. And based on the serial number, the NYPD was able to figure out who the gun had been issued to, and his family subsequently donated it to the NRA Museum. And so I have handled that gun, and its bent and mangled frame is a testament to the carnage that day. The third piece is a Smith & Wesson Model 5946 semi-auto pistol in 9mm. And that story relates to the Walter Weaver story because I was down in the museum galleries when a gentleman tapped me on my shoulder and said, "I hear you have Wally Weaver's gun." He called him Wally. "Where is it?" And I showed it to him, and he explained to me that his name was Dan DeLara, and his twin brother, John DeLara, was a good friend of Walter Weaver. And John DeLara happened to be responding on the scene as well. And this Smith & Wesson 5946 pistol was his duty sidearm. Unfortunately, John DeLara was lost that day. He was one of many first responders putting others' lives ahead of his. They actually did find John DeLara's body in the rubble. It was a miracle that they found John. Unfortunately, he had passed, but his duty gun was there with him as well. And so I worked for a number of months in order to get the pistol, the flag that covered his body when it was brought out of the rubble of Ground Zero, as well as the rounds that had cooked off in the magazine to be put on loan to the museum. That was actually one of the very last things I did at the NRA Museum before I left and pursued high caliber history full time. But nonetheless, I just wanted to share with you here on this 18th anniversary of 9/11 those three incredibly historic guns that I am exceptionally honored to have been able to handle in my career. The Kimber from the Customs Warehouse, the Smith & Wesson revolver from Officer Walter Weaver, and also the Smith & Wesson from Officer John DeLara. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And never forget September 11th, 2001. Thanks and have a great day.